Our planet is filled with stunning destinations, many of them on your bucket list. But some of those places? They're disappearing faster than we realize. Climate change, over-tourism, and industry are wiping out entire landmarks, and once they're gone, they're not coming back. The past 8 years were the warmest on record globally, according to the World Meteorological Organization. Antarctica alone is losing 150 billion tons of ice per year, and Greenland, 270 billion. Rising sea levels and extreme weather are reshaping landscapes, swallowing coastlines, and threatening places that have existed for centuries. So, should you even visit these fragile sites? Well, yes, but wisely. In many cases, tourism funds the very projects trying to save them. With that in mind, let's take a look at 15 breathtaking landmarks you might not get a chance to see again. Number 15, the Galapagos Islands. If the Galapagos Islands are on your bucket list, well, the only thing we say is, don't wait too long. This fragile paradise is changing really fast. Overfishing and rising ocean temperatures are destroying the ecosystem, coral reefs are dying, and native species are struggling to stay alive. Even tourism, as magical as it is to experience, puts stress on the islands. But there's still a chance to help. Conservationists are fighting to restore balance, reintroducing iguanas, which had completely wiped out from the face of islands, cracking down on mass tourism, and working to undo decades of damage. The Ecuadorian government has stepped in, limiting visitor numbers and putting strict rules in place for cruise companies. Visiting responsibly means picking small, conservation-focused tours. Quasar Expeditions runs small ship cruises that keep the impact low while supporting the islands. And if you go, don't miss snorkeling with sea lions, because few things compare to watching them dart and spin around you like underwater acrobats. Number 14, the Great Wall of China. As a wise old man once said, sticky rice can't hold this big wall forever. According to Chinese folklore, Emperor Qin Shi Huang built the Great Wall of China using sticky rice. And yes, it really worked. Well, for a while. Now, this Chinese wonder of the world is falling apart. Less than 9% of it is in good shape and the rest? Crumbling. Erosion has eaten away at huge sections, and while time has done its share of damage, people have done worse. Locals have taken bricks for their own use, tourists have stomped all over fragile areas, and yes, there's even graffiti. If you visit, you owe it to history to do it right. The best way? Stay at Commune by the Great Wall, a hidden retreat in the mountains that gives you private access to an untouched section of the wall. No crowds, no chaos, just the wall as it should be. And if you want a little thrill, skip the stairs and take the toboggan ride down. Just be sure to do a bit Google before doing that. Number 13, the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon is often called the lungs of the planet, and for good reason. It produces 20% of the world's oxygen, houses 1/3 of Earth's recorded species, and is home to breathtakingly rare creatures. Now you think who can destroy this massive jungle, but the harsh reality is that it's disappearing at an alarming rate. And it's not good at all. Deforestation has surged by 92% in recent years, with logging, cattle farming, and fires stripping away the forest's super lush canopy. If this trend continues, the Amazon as we know it could vanish within a few generations. Despite these threats, there are still ways to visit responsibly. Booking with eco-conscious river cruise companies like Delphin River Cruises helps fund conservation while offering an intimate look at the rainforest's magic. And if you're lucky, you might even spot a pink river dolphin gliding through the murky waters, a sight you won't find anywhere else. Just pray that you don't meet green anaconda or the great mapping guari. Life is short, so it's best to not skip it. Number 12, Everglades National Park, Florida. The Everglades aren't just Florida's backyard swamp, well, even if they look, but they're one of the most important ecosystems in the world. They house the largest mangrove forest in the Western Hemisphere, shelter rare species like the Florida panther, and serve as a natural buffer against hurricanes. But as they say, where humans, there's trouble. Now, more than half of the original Everglades are gone. Urban expansion, farming, and pollution have carved it up, and climate change is only making things worse. Despite that, it's still one of the wildest places left in the U.S. The best way to experience it? An airboat ride through the sawgrass marshes, where you'll glide past alligators sunbathing on the banks and herons wading through the shallows. There are no hotels inside the park, but Hilton Fort Lauderdale Beach Resort puts you within an hour's drive. Close enough to explore, but far enough to unwind on the sand afterward. Number 11. Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu has been standing for centuries, but whether it can handle the 5,000 people who climb through its ruins every day, that's another story. Originally built to hold just a few hundred Inca residents, this site is now under extreme stress, both from over-tourism and the harsh conditions of the Andes. Rain, erosion, and landslides threaten its very foundation. To slow the damage, Peru has introduced pretty strict visitor limits, and most of the entrance fees go toward preservation. But if you want to visit without adding to the problem, Tambo del Inca is one of the best ways to do it. Their private scenic train takes you straight to Machu Picchu and offers panoramic views of the sacred valley along the way. And yes, you'll see plenty of llamas. They've been here longer than the tourists. But if you really care about them, it's best to watch them on internet. The whole point here is to protect this disappearing landmark. This way it makes sense. Number 10. Venice, Italy. If you've ever dreamed of gliding through Venice's dreamy canals, don't wait too long, because this city is literally sinking. Rising sea levels and natural shifts in the Earth's crust have put the floating city on a one-way trip down. It's disappearing at 1 to 2 millimeters per year, which might not sound like much, but give it a few decades, and parts of Venice could be permanently underwater. Worst-case scenario? By 2100, it could be Atlantis 2.0. Venetians already got a terrifying preview in 2019, when San Marco Square was flooded with several feet of water. The Italian government is throwing billions at the problem, scrambling for a fix. But Mother Nature doesn't wait for paperwork. Want to experience Venice while it's still above sea level? Skip the tourist mob in San Marco and take a water taxi to the Hilton Molino Stuckey. This former flour mill on Giudecca Island is now a gorgeous, peaceful retreat with the best rooftop views in the city. Number 9. The Great Barrier Reef, Australia. The Great Barrier Reef isn't just the world's largest coral reef. It's one of the most mind-blowing ecosystems on Earth. But here's the harsh reality. It's dying, fast. Climate change, pollution, and out-of-control starfish infestations have wiped out over half of the reef's coral cover since the 80s. If things don't change, the rest could be gone in the next 20 years. Rising ocean temperatures have triggered mass coral bleaching events, turning once colorful reefs into ghostly, lifeless skeletons. It's a brutal sight, but conservation efforts are still fighting to save what's left. The reef isn't dead yet, but it needs all the help it can get. If you want to see this natural wonder, book a stay at Intercontinental Hayman Island Resort, set right in the heart of the reef. It's the perfect launch pad for snorkeling or diving with over 1,500 species of tropical fish, before they too become part of history. Number 8. Vienna, Austria. Vienna has been a city of emperors, artists, and coffee-fueled deep thinkers for centuries. From Baroque palaces to world-famous coffee houses, its charm is timeless, or so we thought. In 2017, UNESCO slapped Vienna's historic center onto the World Heritage Endangered list. Why? A wave of high-rise construction projects is threatening the city's medieval and Baroque skyline. Massive modern buildings might look great in some cities, but here, they're turning a fairy tale cityscape into a glass and steel battleground. Local groups are fighting back, and UNESCO is keeping a close eye on whether Vienna can save its soul. While it's still intact, take a quiet break in a classic Viennese coffee house, because let's be real, no one does coffee culture like the Austrians. And for the perfect stay, Harmony Vienna, a boutique hotel just minutes from the city's historic center, offering charm, history, and zero skyscraper drama. Number 7. Glacier National Park, Montana. Glacier National Park isn't just a name, it's a warning. Once home to 150 glaciers, the park now has just 26. And by the end of the century, scientists predict there could be none left. Over the past 50 years, some glaciers have shrunk by as much as 80%. Rising temperatures are melting the ice faster than it can regenerate, and as the glaciers disappear, so does the park's unique ecosystem. But right now, it's still one of the most stunning places in the U.S. Drive along Going to the Sun Road for some of the most breathtaking views on the planet. And if you want to stay close to nature without roughing it, check out Under Canvas Glacier. Their luxury glamping tents put you just 10 minutes from the park, complete with king-sized beds, wood stoves, and nightly s'mores. See the glaciers while they're still here, because they won't be for long. Number 6. Chamonix, France. The glaciers of Chamonix are vanishing before our eyes. Every year, they lose around 6 meters of thickness and retreat by 30 meters on average. Scientists predict that by 2050, some glaciers will no longer be visible from popular viewpoints. Rising temperatures aren't just melting the ice, they're turning once white glaciers gray and black with moraine debris. The loss of reflective ice also accelerates global warming. To adapt, the Compagnie du Mont Blanc has installed a new cable car and improved access to the famous Grotte de Glace, a glacier cave that may soon disappear. This isn't just tourism, it's a last chance to see history before it melts away. Number 5. Antarctica. Ever wanted to stand on the edge of the world? Well, you might want to hurry, because Antarctica is melting, fast. Scientists predict that by the end of the century, the continent's ice caps could shrink by nearly 25%. That means massive glaciers disappearing, fragile ecosystems collapsing, and rising sea levels everywhere. The most at-risk area? The Antarctic Peninsula. It's already losing ice at an alarming rate, and as it warms, species that have lived here for thousands of years are struggling to adapt. If you want to see Antarctica as it is now, untouched, wild, and otherworldly, you'd better get there sooner rather than later. Getting to the frozen continent isn't easy, but it's worth it. Scenic Cruises runs special expeditions with multiple landings a day, letting you walk among thousands of penguins, visit remote research stations, and even kayak around massive icebergs. Want to go bigger? They also offer helicopter rides and submarine dives for an entirely different view of this disappearing wonder. Number 4. Patagonia. Welcome to Patagonia, where nature flexes its full, untamed power. Towering glaciers, jagged peaks, and endless stretches of wild landscapes make this place look like it was sculpted by the gods. But here's the problem. Those glaciers are vanishing. Patagonia's ice fields are receding at one of the highest rates on Earth, up to 6.4 miles per year. Rising temperatures and climate shifts are taking a brutal toll, and soon, this otherworldly scenery could look completely different. If you want to experience Patagonia before it changes forever, hiking, kayaking, and glacier trekking are a must. And for an unforgettable stay, the singular Patagonia is the spot. A luxury eco-lodge built inside a renovated post-Victorian cold storage plant, it lets you soak in Patagonia's raw beauty while staying right at the edge of the world. Because if there's ever a time to see Patagonia, it's now. Number 3, the Maldives. If you've ever dreamed of waking up in an overwater bungalow surrounded by turquoise blue perfection, now's your chance, because the Maldives might not be here forever. The Maldives is the lowest lying country on Earth, meaning it's on the front lines of rising sea levels. A recent study predicts that 80% of the islands could be underwater by 2050. That's not just a warning, it's a countdown. For now, though, the Maldives is still paradise on Earth. Snorkel alongside vibrant coral reefs, spot manta rays and sea turtles, and watch the bioluminescent glowing beaches at night. Stay at Anantara Kihava Maldives Villas, where you can dine underwater, snorkel in a UNESCO biosphere, and feel like you're in a dream. But if this place is on your list, don't wait. Number 2. The Dead Sea, Israel. The Dead Sea isn't just a lake. It's a natural wonder with an expiration date. Nestled between Israel and Jordan at nearly 1,400 feet below sea level, it holds the title of the lowest point on Earth. But that title is shrinking, fast. Since 1960, the Dead Sea has lost a third of its surface area. Evaporation, water diversion, and extreme heat are causing it to shrink by more than 3 feet per year. If nothing changes, this iconic salt lake could be gone in our lifetime. But for now, it's still one of the most surreal places you can visit. The water's unreal salinity makes floating effortless, and the mineral-rich mud is basically a free luxury spa treatment. If you go, book a stay at Had Dead Sea Hotel, perched right on the shoreline. Wake up to desert meets sea views, but don't wait too long. This wonder is disappearing before our eyes. Number 1. Ol Pejeta Conservancy, Kenya. Kenya's Ol Pejeta Conservancy is home to the last 2 northern white rhinos on Earth. Read that again, the last 2. Their names, Najin and Fatu. Once they're gone, their species is gone forever. Ol Pejeta isn't just another wildlife reserve, it's a last stand for conservation. Rangers and scientists are racing against time, using groundbreaking reproductive technology in an attempt to bring northern white rhinos back from the brink. In the meantime, visitors can get an unforgettable up-close look at these near-extinct creatures while supporting vital conservation efforts. But rhinos aren't the only stars here. Ol Pejeta is teeming with wildlife, including lions, leopards, elephants, and Cape buffalo, 4 out of Africa's Big 5. If you're lucky, you might even spot an elusive cheetah sprinting across the savannah. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, then like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.